I know. I've watched these races. I know how many times there's a big one. He said, I want to finish this race, and now he's in it. He's spinning out on the racetrack.
Brian Scott right in the middle of a three-wide situation. He gets it pointed the right direction. The caution comes out. And you see that 40. That's Mike Bliss.
Now watch the 40 of Mike Bliss. He gets in the back of Ricky Carmichael, and Brian with nowhere to go on the outside of Ricky Carmichael makes pretty hard contact. Watch the outside. Jeff is a guy. Yeah, James is on the outside of a 33 of Hornaday. And looks like Todd drifts up the hill, gets into him a little bit, turns him sideways.
James was perfect. He was up beside Hornaday racing for the lead, and Todd just, and you know, we talked about how difficult it is to race a truck through the tri-oval. Todd couldn't get his truck turned, and he got into the left rear of Buscher.
They call it a straightaway, but it's really not. It's an 18-degree banked turn.
There goes Johnny.
Johnny was trying to make his way back to the pits, and then obviously had an oil line or something ruptured. And that another view here. Why, there's a contact right there. Watch this now.
What if you're James Buscher, 18 years old, racing for the lead at Daytona, and get taken out by a veteran? That's got to make you scratch your head. He's the one that's supposed to make the mistake.
Watch this. You see, he got loose right on the bottom and then overcorrected, shot right across the racetrack into the outside wall.
I mentioned good news. Brent Raymer is climbing out of that truck.
See him right there going straight back into the outside wall. Already stunned from that first impact. See Rick Crawford on the inside. David Starr goes around the outside, the 24 truck. Ooh, Jason White gets sideways, runs into the 14 of Rick Crawford, puts him in the outside wall. David Starr had nowhere to go.
Field, and this is that situation right here where this could definitely have been avoided. A little give right there would have made that not happen,
especially this early in the race.
Yeah.
Issue on pit road. Watch right in that area as the red truck comes in. Taylor Malsom and Chase Austin collide.
There's Timothy in the pits right there. You see him?
And then they had to.
Yep, and they actually could not push the truck back. So you see him obviously around. He gets in the back of Ricky going in the corner, turns Ricky around. Ricky's trying to keep that truck off the racetrack, trying to bring it back down to the apron. Chad McCumbee does a great job getting by. Look at Rick Crawford. Look at the job he does avoiding them. But unfortunately, Dennis Setzer had absolutely nowhere to go.
Setzer couldn't see through Crawford's truck. Setzer they had no idea that Ricky was sitting there. You can see, watch Rick. He just gets on the brakes and was able to avoid the 4, but then right into the back of Crawford came Setzer.
Comes Colin Brown on the outside, trying to take over second from Kyle Busch. Oh! Kyle Busch in front of it, but it's the 6 of Colin Brown that got turned around and hard into the inside wall.
Boy, straight into that inside wall.
Well, Terry Cook hits him, and then bam! Brian Scott hits Brown in the back and sends him to the inside wall.
Just straight. Look at that safer barrier. Thank goodness for that safer barrier on the inside wall on the backstretch.
Even with the bad start, a huge break for Kyle Busch.
You saw what happened, Rick. Look at that truck fly up in the air. You saw the 25 truck not get a good run off too.
Yep.
The 6 of Brown ran up on the back of Terry Cook.
Watch this now. We're on board with Colin Brown now.
Watch him here. Clear low, clear.
He just had no idea he's getting ready to get hit.
We just got wrecked.
Yeah, he actually ran in the back of Terry Cook as well.
That was a chain reaction crash. Those are really hard to avoid. There's no
front tire.
Oh,
wow. He's going to get into the inside wall. I wonder if he...
I think maybe
locked the brakes up, maybe?
He might have.
And then look at Hornaday, looks to the inside.
There comes Hornaday battling for second.
Oh, he
gets into the side of him, and Hornaday is going to spin Johnny Benson around.
That was a situation where
fuel in it, and then potentially make it to the end of this race.
There's a replay right there. Brent Raymer had a little help. Look, maybe Chris Fontaine, the 84 truck, got into the back of him. They make some more contact. Now Ricky's going to get down into turn number 1 on the inside, and he's going to bounce off that curb.
Oh, look at those back tires. He got into a wheel hop situation. The back tires got to jump, and he had to let off the brake to keep it from spinning out. But when he let off the brake, he ran in the side of the 7. Carmichael might get our Aaron's lucky dog.
Ricky Carmichael does get the free pass.
Like Brent might have got a little bit of help from Johnny Saw. Just take a look at the replay. What happened to Norm? There he is coming off turn number 4 sideways, makes contact with the inside wall. Ron Hornaday has made his way up to the 13th spot. Remember, Fontaine on the outside. Ricky comes off turn 2. They make a little bit of contact, and then they get hung together. And Chris goes around, then Ricky goes around, gets into the outside wall.
Looked like Ricky had the same thing that sort of happened. Said clear behind Todd, and Jason said, no, it's not.
And it might have been for a split second, but that's how quickly things happen here at Martinsville. Jason came along to try to take that spot. That Red Horse Racing Toyota. Here's Todd. Go up through the gears, gets down to the inside, and just TJ was kind of moving his way over there, and Todd made contact just about before it was even time to get on the brakes.
That was a big crash here at Martinsville. You don't tear one up much worse than that here.
Kevin Harvick up front. Take a look. Hermie Sadler was up on the curb there a bit. 48. Johnny Sauter has to get turned around.
Remember, see the left rear quarter panel. There's the contact right there that got that fender in the tire, but that's what allowed Kevin to get to the inside of the 51.
Happens here late in the going. Looks like the 16 of Brian Scott gets into the back of Terry Cook, and he gets into Todd Bodine, and it ends a really what looked to be a promising day for Todd.
Yeah. Champion Johnny Benson, that one Red Horse truck right by. Oh, Ricky's getting sideways.
Sideways goes Ricky Carmichael. Will he save it? Johnny Benson taps him. The field slows behind him. How about that for Johnny Benson? The caution.
Dodge right in front of Dennis Setzer.
James Busher in the 10 back.
Oh, trouble.
Truck.
Todd Bodine.
Todd Bodine into the wall now. He got loose up high and then goes right back up into the wall. The second caution of the day today.
He's on the inside of Dennis Setzer, going to be very much like I think what we just saw earlier. He gets loose even before he gets down in the corner. Ooh, there's Jennifer Jo Cobb on the inside. It was very fortunate for her that Ricky stayed above her, and Ricky again does a nice job not letting that truck slide up the racetrack. And with only 15 degrees banking, though, it's easy for coming to the right of your screen. They're already together there. Somehow they got together getting in the corner. Both make pretty significant contact with the outside wall.
And again, Toyota Tundra.
You can see right there the right front tire goes down. Absolutely nothing a driver can do about that when the right front tire goes like it did on Terry. Terry had finished on the lead lap here the last 7 races, and unfortunately not gonna happen today.
He's running at the end of all.
He has to chase it up the hill. Now he gets really close, and that's when you really lose that air. And there he just lost the air off that rear spoiler, and around he went. Pretty significant contact with the inside wall.
For most of that corner, he thought he was okay. You know, he got down on the inside. It made a pretty good turn through the center, but as it exited, it washed up, got right next to the 16 of Brian Scott. He couldn't hold on to it.
If he could have maintained that several feet in between he and Brian Scott, he probably would have been okay. But once he got out next to Brian Scott, then all the downforce went off the back of that truck.
Unfortunate for Timothy Peters. Our first caution of the night has come out.
There's Skinner up ahead.
Down on the inside of the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Oh, Sauter pinches him a little bit low.
Pinches him into the grass. Now watch this.
There's a white truck that clobbers him. Watch this.
Right there.
Very hard hit. Got completely underneath that 5.
Hard hit. Is that TJ Bell?
I believe
in the 11
it is.
truck?
I believe it is.
Take another look. There, Skinner was in the grass. Now you see the caution light come on.
See the roof flap goes up, and then TJ Bell. Ooh, wow.
He had no idea. TJ Bell had no idea that 5 was coming up the racetrack.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't. Even if he had it, there wasn't anywhere he could have went.
Nothing he could have done. This is real time. The 5 truck on the inside. Skinner gets sideways.
Just jumps around with him. You can see he's got his wheels cut to the right, trying to save it from it spinning, and he never got them turned back to the left. And when it got straightened up, you know, it didn't have any way else to go except for into that outside wall. I mean, Kyle just thought that he was going to get in behind the 6, and he totally ran into the right rear quarter of him and crashed him.
What a horrible break for Colin Brown. Here's Kyle Busch. 3 wide here.
Take a look at this. David Gilliland again on the tail end.
Sideways.
Goes around. He was your race leader, and into the wall he goes.
Back down through traffic. I hope everybody can dodge him.
Still coming. They're still coming.
So close.
That's right. James on the inside of David Starr. Looks like he may have touched the apron there, slid up the racetrack, and again, same situation. He got close to the 24 of David Starr, just lost the air off that rear spoiler.
I think he got a little shallow into the turn, Phil.
Been a little too straight.
He hit the apron a little bit, clipped the apron. You can see the truck bottom out a little bit.
While they were in front of J.R. Fitzpatrick, this is him coming out of turn 2, and he is completely sideways and gets into the inside wall.
He was on the inside of another truck that could have robbed that truck from some air on the rear downforce, just like we saw earlier with Ty Bodine the last couple of races.
Front tire. Watch how hard it hits. Oh, see the hood buckle even, and you hit the side of the truck, and it affects the end without it.
Yeah, we've already run 35 laps. Ray, what's going on down there?
Kyle Busch is going to pit. He has got a vibration in the right front. He's going high on the track. Kyle Busch will come to pit road next time by. In the nationwide race, there was only 2 laps to go, and he lost that one, and now he's into the wall over on turn 2.
Sure enough, we saw the right front tire just shred there, and into the wall goes Colin. Also the 6 of Colin Brown. They were 1 and 2. Kyle loses the lead. Also,
He can get the pit road, pull the fender out, and still have a fast truck. You can see Colin Brown up ahead. He just barreled right into the outside wall.
take a peek at it. Happening a little bit late. He's already up there.
Already in the wall right there. Obviously, that right front tire deflated and sent him up to the top of the racetrack. Let's take a look at.
Side by side, Ron Hornaday on the
crash.
up into the wall.
Buescher.
James Buescher in the wall.
Brian Scott with him.
The 16 of Brian Scott and that Albertson's Toyota Tundra, and the caution flag comes out for the first time today.
It almost looked like they got hooked together.
And you can see Buescher down on the inside of Johnny
he gets
Saunders.
completely sideways.
Gets loose and overcorrects, and wham, Brian Scott minding his own business and gets taken right into the wall.
Was speeding, but here's how this incident started here.
Oh, wow.
Down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Looked like McCumbee.
That was actually Hornaday. Looked like he got on the inside of that yellow line, and it sent him up the racetrack.
McCumbee cut across in front of Hornaday. It took Hornaday's angle away. He slowed down, and Stacy Compton just drove right in the back of him. I'm not sure. Looked like Hornaday was at her trucks that'll do that. He and Colin Brown. Oh, no!
The 15 of Eichler gets into the back of the 24 and sliding back in front of the field, and now we've got a couple other trucks that have tied up.
Got clipped.
Man, Skinner did an awesome job missing that crash.
Dale Busch in front of Colin Brown, and that actually is a pass. I had mentioned earlier that Kyle won the race.
J.R. Fitzpatrick, around he
back
goes.
in front of the traffic. He slides into the wall. Let's see if everyone stays away as he tries to keep it
Pretty hard.
in the middle of the track.
From Aaron's if the caution were to fly, but he is 2 down.
Oh, problems right in front of him. Jason White into the wall in that 23.
Tough break for Jason White in that gunbroker.com Dodge. Jason, the 6 of Colin Brown is going to come along here on the outside.
Oh, I bet you, yeah, he might have grabbed third gear there, Phil. You thinking
might have, yeah.
Wheel hopped it a little bit. The thing just spun around, either like he put it in third gear.
Watch for the 07. There's look in front. You see the smoke. Then a Setzer, the 8. Ooh, the 84 was in the outside wall. The 07 had slowed. It looked like maybe on the bottom of the racetrack, and then possibly the 10 made contact with him. There's another view. Yes, looks like maybe the 07 and the 10 possibly got together, or maybe the 07 just got sideways.
Side
Oh, trouble!
Problems right there in front of us. The 51 of Brian Eichler goes around.
Ricky Carmichael got to the inside of Brian Eichler, and Brian came down the hill. They made contact.
6th in the points. We take another look.
Oh, you see the tire going down already. Stacy had absolutely nothing he can do about it.
That's such a shame.
You know, it looked like. Let's take a look. This is Terry Cook sliding back behind our leaders.
He's going to come down the track, across in front of these oncoming trucks. Eichler in the smoke, can't see, nowhere to go, and probably clobbers.
Right there's Eichler right there clobbering that Harris Trucking Toyota of Terry Cook.
He's in front of the incident, and he gets turned around on his own.
On his own, looked like. I'm not sure what happened there. They're going to make contact with the inside wall.
Now, I don't understand that at all. He was going straight.
It seemed like he was getting out of the gas. We would think that it was because of the
straight away, I bet you. Watch it go right here.
It's down. Yep,
Boom,
there it goes.
Down.
Great job by the oncoming traffic.
Look at all these trucks here, and they're all going to miss him.
Brian Scott's
been in the middle of every wreck they've had tonight.
Has had his hands full. Well, once
How good he is. When he got that track position, he took advantage of it and ran second up there. So you're liable to see some guys mix it up here, make their strategy be just gas, no tires, maybe one stop, maybe two.
Watch Caitlin Shaw there. You see her get sideways. She was on the inside of the racetrack, makes some contact with the outside wall.
stalled just a bit.
It's pretty difficult to spin right where he did and not hit anything. TJ did a nice job keeping that thing out of the wall.
TJ will need another set of tires, as I'm sure he's flat spotted those.
All right, to me, I don't see any problem there. Check it out. This is after it's already happened. But Colin just was on the outside of Todd, and you're just not going to back out at that point.
Right along with Colin Brown. He's going to get to the outside. Now watch, he's going to get that nose up outside of Todd's truck right there. Boy, he wasn't up there very far, Michael.
But you can't do that, Phil. With 20-some laps to go in a race, you're not.
It's just less time for him to get up there. There's Ricky Carmichael into the outside wall, bringing out the caution.
Fifth caution of the night. Now it sets up for a great restart. Hornaday, Colin Brown, and Mike Skinner.
44 in the 15.
Oh,
the
no.
44 just actually tried to stay in the middle of the racetrack, and they made contact with the 15, and then Mario came along with absolutely nowhere to go.
That could have been a deal where the 44, like Darrell said earlier, he got down to the corner. He didn't have good aero because he was beside a truck, and he just come to pit road and put tires on and run 2 laps.
Yeah, there's the right rear tire goes down. Terry just riding along there right on the bottom of the racetrack, and the right rear goes down, and into the outside wall he goes. He was completely by himself, but to
the broadcast before there's a crash. See, Tom Bodine gets sideways and runs into Taylor Mossam, wrecking both of those trucks.
Yeah, just got a little bit loose and had to chase his truck up the hill. Made contact with Taylor. Tough break for both these two trucks.
As far as 09.
Little contact from the 13 of Johnny Sauter coming off. There's his contact with Dennis Setzer in the 8 truck.
Second caution has come out. We'll be back.
Sherman made a little bit of contact.
Oh, there we go. Brent Sherman. Brent Sherman tries to keep it down on the apron, smoking as he holds it down. And it looks as though he's going to be able to keep it off of the racetrack. And that means
It's frustration for sure with this team.
Ooh, just got loose and ran out of the racetrack up off of 4 there. Brian has made his way up into the top 5 in points. Actually took over the 4th position last week at Bristol. This is going to really hurt.
It's going to hurt for sure, but I believe they can still get it patched back together, Phil, and get back out there and make some laps, but certainly not going to.
Pit window. There's Ricky Carmichael right in front of the 24 of David Starr. Just gets a little bit loose up off of turn number 4. Does a nice job getting that monster Chevrolet down off of the racetrack through the grass. Tears up the grass bad, though.
But he doesn't hurt his splitter. That's what you worry about when you get in that grass. You could just tear that thing right off with the grass, but he's cool. He slid through the grass and back onto the road.
With so few trucks right now on the lead lap, all these guys can come in, they can put tires on, and even come back in to put Skinner is the lead truck right now trying to get there. Oh, give it again. That's TJ Bell.
Bell gets turned around. He and Mike Skinner got side by side. Here comes Bell up. Oh, he's trying up the track. Look out. A close call there. TJ Bell back up the racetrack. You agree with him?
Absolutely.
Here's our caution. This is what brought out the 7th or the 5th caution of the night.
Oh, contact. David Starr looked like he came down the hill just a little bit. Taylor Malson was there. They made contact. There's the contact that Skinner got. Terry Cook did a great job getting through the middle of those trucks.
Look at Jason White just barely slipping by. The Sieg truck couldn't quite get by, caught the front of Malson. Taylor he gets on the humps there a little bit, bounced up into David Starr. Both those guys racing hard late in the race. Skinner gets hit. Look at the job Cook and Carmichael do getting through the middle. And look at Stacey Compton.
A great job by him. And there's Ryan Seek coming along with, on the bottom of the racetrack as low as he could get. Unfortunately, Taylor came down, made a little contact. Bad. Now, right now in front of him, there's the accident. And remember, that's his teammate right there, Taylor Malson. Comes down the
right side.
Look at there.
Oh, just about saved it. Just got a little bit behind there.
But he's okay, I think. He can come in, put a little tape on that right side, get him some fresh tires.
Yeah. That's a pretty gutsy move to do that.
Oh, spinner. Problems. Back in the back, the 92.
Stays out of harm's way. Stays off the racetrack. Caution flag is out. Rick Crawford, the 14, right bound. He comes down the hill there. Todd was already there. They made a little bit of contact. You may have to look at the right front corner of Todd's truck.
Adam Alexander. Impressive for his first ever start.
Oh, he's going to get loose down there, and around he goes.
Talk about it. Sideways goes Austin Dillon. Keep it off the wall, Austin. He does, and that brings out our 4th caution.
maybe a little bit of strategy.
Oh, contact.
Little contact there, Stacy Compton. We see the 24. David Starr up into the wall. Caution comes out once again.
Right. We are coming off turn number 4. You see those trucks side by side. Just a simultaneous spin there. Jason on the inside got a little bit loose. Lost the air off that spoiler.
Yeah, he definitely got loose and gathered Todd up. And as close as they were to the wall, they're lucky they didn't get that. And
Nose of that truck. Oh, sideways.
Sliding into the grass. That's Timothy Peters. It looked like some contact had to have been made there. And Timothy Peters slides into the infield grass. Caution once again.
Keeps it out of the wall.
130 miles an hour. Let's look again.
Looks like I don't. It may have
Just
started with a
behind the
Eichler maybe in the 15. May have gotten the back of Buscher.
yeah, when you do this run, you're not coming in at a very good angle.
Bad angle, and he gets in there. He obviously chases it up the hill. There's the contact. He gets Stacy sideways. Stacy almost saves it. Watch Ricky Carmichael now. He's headed straight for his door.
Locks him up. The other thing that set that up is this.
Probably is not going to help him. But man, he is taking a.
Oh, problems behind him. Into the wall goes the 4.
Terry Cook's going to hit the inside wall.
Inside wall. Those two pinched together. There was a truck in the middle of that.
Yeah, doing it for earlier when he didn't. The 33 may have not.
Oh, there's contact. The 6 goes around. The 88 was on the outside. The 6 got into him, and the 6 goes around of Colin Brown.
And he had at least 2 truck links when he got to the start-finish line. Oh, Todd gets turned.
Todd slides to the inside. Will he slide back up in the groove? Yes, and more contact. Rick Crawford is involved. Colin Brown is involved.
Of a run. He moves to the inside. There's the
contact again. Crafton gets into the back of the 33, and Hornaday spins around. Oh, and big contact behind him. That's the 07 that gets into the 33. The first time. This is why we're under caution. The 71 of Rob Fuller.
So just on the outside of the 51 of Kyle Busch and just lost control. Lost the right rear corner. Roundy went and made some pretty significant contact with that Drake. See right of your screen, that's the 81 of Taylor Malsom. He's right behind David Starr in the 24. And the back end just gets out from under him. Roundy goes, but watch Ryan Siegel. A little contact with Brian Eichler and the 16 of Brian Scott on the inside.
I think it's a hole in it.
The 15. Sideways up top.
Looked like he was just a little bit loose. Terry Cook looked like he did a wonderful job avoiding ways. Ooh, he got loose on the bottom, slid up the racetrack, had to avoid the 16 of Brian Scott, but what a terrific job controlling that truck. That's not going to happen. You see him on the inside. He gets loose, has to chase it up the hill. Max Pappas also spins, but Ricky makes some contact with the outside wall. But that's the case you were talking about, Rick, when we see a lot of trucks spin on mile-and-a-half racetracks. You get on the inside, you lose that air off the spoiler. And remember, these guys may not be wide open, but they're awfully close to it, Johnny.
Well, they are, and that's one of the things that Ricky is learning, is what you can and can't get away with when you do get close.
There's Brian Scott. I don't know if he maybe cut something down. He was up high. That may be because he had a soft tire, Johnny.
It is. You know, these guys have been out on these tires for quite a long time. So
under our first caution, the 07 gets spun around and into the wall.
And no contact from behind. James Buscher, the tip truck, was right behind.
Heard Hermie on the radio say to the guys, I'm okay.
There's another view. Watch this, Rick. You see, watch Robbie get sideways right there, and he just clips Hermie in the right rear corner, turns him into the outside wall.
Let's ride along with that number 48 truck.
This is going to hurt. Hermie has no idea what's fixing to happen. He doesn't know that truck is sideways and just hooks him and turns him right into the concrete.
Yeah. Hermie was giving Robbie plenty of room. Just one of those situations that Robbie just got sideways going off the corner.
The field, the lead trucks are going by. Here comes Crawford. Crawford, the first one to make his way down, and we see Johnny Sauter. Again, that's the spin that brought out this caution. A little. Most recent caution has come out.
There's Max Pappas on the inside. Ooh, he runs over the curb, makes some contact with Burt Myers. I said Burt was going to get the lucky dog. He was in position to get it, but that when he gets turned around like that, that's not going to happen.
Stacy Compton.
Oh!
Johnny Sauter having problems in that number 13 once again.
So that looks like he's got it back up to speed, but is there a right rear flat, Phil?
There it is, right rear, and he's going around.
All the way around he goes. Will that bring out the caution once again, or can he get it pointed the right direction?
He's heading the right way. This is going to be costly for Johnny Sauter.
They got to be able to get around 1 and 2.
Whoa, he's
going to go around in front of the field. Timothy Peters makes it by, as does Todd Bodine, and now the...
Not spinning it out to where he gets into the wall.
And he's trying hard to keep it straight right there.
Take a look.
See Chris Fontaine and the 0-7 get together. Mike's just trying to get by the 0-7 of Burt Myers on the inside, and that's where all the contact came from.
The 88 of Max. Problems. Colin Brown gets sideways. Sideways into the infield. It looks like Taylor Malsom's going to make contact with the inside wall.
That's that bump drafting gone awry there, I have to believe.
No doubt.
Unfortunately, Taylor's going to be the one that's going to really pay the price.
Put tires on.
Just a chain reaction deal. You see the pack seize up.
See everything happening up there. Ricky Carmichael has no idea all this is going on.
Again, contact made between the 6 and the 07. Chad McCumbee may have some front end damage, at least cosmetic damage to the front of that truck as he got into the back of the 6.
Pit road is not open yet. This will be, we're in the window now. This will be the last round of pit stops for all these guys.
Wasn't your leader. He was on the tail end of the lead lap. But
problems! Mario Goslin turns around. Can he keep it down low? Try to stay out of the line of traffic. He does an excellent job. Stays to the bottom of the racetrack until they cross the start-finish line. The field goes by. The MyTireMonkey.com truck now.
That's obviously not the case right now. Still 4 remaining, but Bodine trying to make his move to the outside, and we have trouble on the back straightaway.
Problems for the 14 and the 5. Now they all bottle up behind them. The 16's into the wall. Hornaday, your championship leader, is into the wall. A lot of damage on the back stretch. Oh, and Max Pappas gets into the 5 of Mike Skinner as they're slowing down the back stretch.
13 gets into the quarter panel of Mike Skinner.
look at Crafton slide by barely on the outside. Colin Brown barely through the hole.
Ooh, look at Rick Crawford's rear end lift up off the ground.
Ricky Carmichael takes a spin. A little bit of damage on that truck.
Timothy Peters involved.
Timothy Peters, our winner from last week, crashed this week.
So look at him coming straight at you down the backstretch.
It looked like the 30 of Todd Bodine and Skinner washed up to the high side, and they wanted to get back over there to the inside. And when Skinner went to the inside,
Max Pappas just running into the side of that 5 truck.
There's another, you can see right there, Johnny Sauter got bumped around. Then he got into the 5 of Mike Skinner. Mike got into the 14 of Rick Crawford. Chad McCumbee comes along, he's involved. Brian Scott, there's the 16 truck, the 33 of Hornaday. Looks like James Busher, very little damage. And then here comes Max along. Here's real time.
Most of these crashes happen on the straightaway, it seems, Phil.
And it's amazing. You wouldn't think that would happen, but it does.
People are scrambling to try to get back in line. It looked like Skinner was trying to get over toward that bottom line. And Sauter was determined to stay in that hole.
Ron Horday's Copart Chevrolet right there, along with him.
In Johnny Sauter's defense, we're talking 2 or 3 laps to go. He backs off the gas right there.
See Skinner, he's on the outside. He was trying to pull back over in line behind Todd, and Johnny had tried to close that hole up, tried to take that hole from him.
Self-lapped in a hurry.
There's another view right there. See Ben Stancil just gets a little bit loose up off of turn number 2. He had the 41 truck of Mark Mitchell behind him, makes some pretty hard contact with the inside wall.
Man, that's a helpless feeling when that thing jumps out from underneath you like that. Ben, the other truck I think was a factor, Phil. Look how close he is. Just sucks that truck right around. And look at that.
Wow. I think the officials are going to have to take a look at that inside wall. It looked like it's really going to get a little bit loose now. Ron's going to try to get up inside. Look how close that is. Murray does a great job staying off Ron. And just got a little bit behind in his steering, but did a nice job keeping that truck out of the wall.
He spun out right in Ron Hornaday's lap.
Field on.
When you look at his numbers in the 3 divisions, this is absolutely
contact.
And he's
Kevin
spinning
Harvick
turn
gets
4.
He got into the inside of the 15, and Harvick spins around to bring out our first caution.
I think Kevin was having a problem. We were following him along from his.
Up higher on the racetrack as they enter 3.
Whoa, that thing really got away from him in a hurry. He's lucky to keep it out of the outside wall.
That's really hard to do on a flat track like this. We did a nice job.
When you lose one on entry, it wants to get up in that outside wall. So Brad, despite the fact that he's making his first start, he made some.
There's the 80. I said, remember, the 71 was right in front of the 88. Looked like Kevin got a little bit loose, maybe up off of 2, and the 88 had a little bit of a head of steam going and running to the back of him, just a little bit enough to get Kevin out of shape into the outside wall.
You see him making contact with the back of that truck, hard contact into the outside wall. That'll end Kevin's night, obviously, and you're right.
TJ Bell, now James comes along there. He just gets a little bit loose down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Shot it in there really hard. He saw that hole open. We're getting down to 5 to go. He knew he needed to grab that.
Ooh, you know what? Just gets sucked around, man.
Dan said, what are you doing over there? Brett Butler made a strong move to the outside.
Just see if he just drops down and takes off.
Yeah, it went down.
That could have been a result of some contact into the wall earlier.
We saw him.
Looked like that 39 truck was just trying to squeeze back up in line, and James Christian was in that hole and didn't let him have the space.
They fought over that all the way down the back till he got down the third turn, and then he finally hooked him.